Hi there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Capital A Trading. Welcome to another episode of my Forex Weekly. For those of you who don't know, I'm going to go through the top 10 investment opportunities for the week, show them to you, show you how I'm going to tackle them, and then of course we analyze it throughout the week, keep an eye on it and see how the trade gets on. If that sounds good to you, if you trade, if you take investments, hit that subscribe button in the bottom right corner. Stay up to date with the channel. There's a lot of exciting content coming from now until the summer. So again, make sure you're subscribed. Also, if you want to learn more, check out my website. That's www.capitalatrading.co.uk. There's a whole lot of cool features on there, again, to boost up your trading skills. With that being said, I just want to say a quick shout out to my sponsors, the Absolutely magazine. I'm looking forward to being in the new edition. Let's get into the charts. First, we're going to take a look at the fundamentals and see if there's any news that can impact the charts this week.
So again, it was important to just check the fundamentals for the week. This one is going to have a little impact. So Monday, there's going to be not much news that I'm worried about. Again, Tuesday, I'll keep an eye on the Australian dollar. Again, not expecting too much impact. Wednesday, I'm expecting to see something in the pound. There's some news around the London Open and the New York Open. The budget report, I think, is going to have more of an impact on the pound. So be aware of the charts when I'm talking about the pound pairs. Later that evening, there'll be something on the yen. So again, I'll be switching my focus to that around Wednesday evening. Thursday morning, there's going to be a Swiss francs interest rate decision. And then a bit later in the morning, some more news on the pound. That afternoon, around the New York Open, I'll switch my focus to the US dollar. Friday, again, it will just be back around the pound, around the London Open. So with that, let's get into the charts. Okay, the first two I'm going to get into is going to be the US 30, then the UK 100. Now, I've been watching this for a few weeks now. It started to make its move down from that area I mentioned around the 36,200, 36,400. It's had a nice move down. It's broken structure. It's shown me that there's a lot of bearish involvement. Price last week started to shoot back up towards an area where I believe another sell is going to kick off. As I just come down the time frames, I'm going to be looking at the key number, the 3,500. Weirdly enough, last week, all it's done is shoot towards this area. So the 3,500 towards the 35,400 around this area, I'm expecting to see price struggle, show some signs of the contract, and then eventually within the next 2 weeks, start to take more of a push from this area. So hopefully making a new low. Hopefully we can see price start to push back towards the 3,000 mark. So keep an eye on that area. Let's see if it holds up. Let's see when the push is going to come throughout the week. That's the US 30. The next up, very similar looking, is going to be the UK 100. Now, again, there's a bit of a lesson here. I called a trade recently on the AUDNZD due to a structure break, and I've got a similar picture here on a higher time frame on the UK 100. Now, for those of you who follow me, you'll know that I've been plotting on this area since the back end of last year. And now it looks like we're starting to get the bearish involvement, and it looks like we're soon going to be kicking out of this area very fast. So as I just come down the time frame, I mentioned this last week. I mentioned this area, this big blue candle, kind of looks like it left the contract right here at this point where the two candles come up, and then we get the massive movement to the downside. Now, again, last week, all it's done is spend its time coming back towards this area. So I'm just going to keep an eye on it in between the 7,400 to the 7,500. I just want to see price stick here, and then hopefully we can see another push to the downside. So keep an eye on them two together. That's going to be the US 30 and the UK 100. Okay, just a quick update on Bitcoin. Again, I get a lot of questions about this. When's it going? When's it going to start to make its move to the upside? All I want to mention is this area here around the 34,000 mark. So right there where my cursor line is now is a key area regarding what's going to happen in the future of Bitcoin. I do believe price is building here. It's holding. I don't think it can go lower than this point. So I'm guessing that at some point, the push to the upside will be coming. So all I would suggest for the Bitcoin holders is keep an eye on that 34 mark. This is where I believe the story will kind of be told. If it does break this, then it could be heading to the downside. But for me, it looks like they've been here too long. This has something to do with Elon Musk, what he did back in 2021 around this area. And it's now back at the same point when he started speaking. This is where it was. So again, it's got a lot of relevance, this area. Let's just see how it holds up. And I do believe we can start to get the push back to the upside, maybe at least back towards the 50,000 mark. So keep an eye on that. That's Bitcoin. Okay, before we get into the currencies, I just want to take this short break, take you through my website, explain the mentorship program, explain what's available to you. So again, you can head over to the website. That's www.capitalatrading.co.uk. Head over to the services section. You can read more about the mentorship program. And again, a few things that will be listed there about what's available to you, how you will learn. So how you're going to learn, how the financial institutions enter the market, how to create your own trading plan, how to trade your edge over the market, how to place your own trades, risk management, protecting your capital, how to use TradingView, access to my trading community, access to my live trades, 10 hours of pre-recorded educational videos, mindset training, and of course, you'll get my 24/7 mentoring support. So if that's something you're interested in, do check out the website. Give me a shout. You can send me an email to capitalatrading@hotmail.com. With that, let's get into the top 10 currencies. Number 10 is going to be the USD CAD. Now, again, this was like the most successful trade I mentioned last week. This was the area I was speaking about around the 128,600, and we've just had a massive move to the downside. All I'm going to be looking at for this week is around the 127 level. I kind of want to see this bearish trend just continue. So I want to see price push back up towards the 127. It looks like they've left a key manipulation there around that key number. And I just want to see price struggle, start to create the contract again. And then hopefully we can see another push to the downside. Target wise, I'd like to see price come back towards the 125. That's where long term, I believe price is coming to. So starting the week, I just want to see it get up to there, show me the signs of struggle, then I can make a decision. And then of course, holding out for that level. That's going to be the USD CAD. Okay, again, mentioned last week, this is going to be number 9. It's going to be the NZD USD. I'm liking the way price is now heading back into the higher retracement areas. This is where I'm looking to be more comfortable taking a position. Now, as I just come down the time frame, it's this daily picture here, this daily scenario. Again, this is the last marker that I can see being left by the market makers before they flushed price down here. And it's that 70,000 level. The 70,000 level, this is where I'm going to be looking to see price again just come to, start to show the signs of struggle, and hopefully we can get another position there throughout the week. I'll be updating this one in my Discord. So again, if you haven't got access to that, do so now. That's going to be the NZD USD. It's that 70,000 level. Okay, number 8. It's going to be the AUDNZD. Now again, this was a trade that we mentioned recently. Very successful push to the downside. And it's now back in the same area. So I'm just kind of watching. For my students who know, we've kind of had like the foot entry. I'm now looking at the waistline. So I believe it's going to come from this middle point here. And it's around the 107,400. So again, just keep an eye on this level. I'm looking to see the signs of struggle. I want to see a contract being entered. Hopefully see some New Zealand dollar strength. Again, I'm aware that I've got some Australian dollar news that I need to contend with. Make sure that there's no strength in that. And hopefully we can start to see a push to the downside. Target wise, I want to see price wipe out this area here around the 106,200. So keep an eye on that one. That's going to be the AUDNZD. Next up is going to be the pound yen. And again, very similar. I mentioned some selling points recently from this area around the 157. And we've had price just dropping very nicely. And it's back to the same point. Now, regarding what it's going to do this time, I want to see price personally just dip this level ever so slightly around the 158 and then start to make its move to the downside. There is going to be tons of liquidity up there. There's going to be tons of stop losses, tons of other traders in that position. So I just want to see how the market's going to react after it's wiped all of that liquidity out. Keep an eye on that one. It's going to be the pound yen. Number 6 is going to be the pound Swiss franc. Now, again, we've got that Swiss franc interest rate decision. We've got some pound news. So again, this will need to be monitored a lot throughout the week. I mentioned sells. For those of you who follow me, I've mentioned the sell around the 130 level ages ago. And again, now we're almost nearly at the 120 level. So nearly 1,000 pip move from around the middle point of last year. What I'm looking at now is the bearish trend to just continue. It's going to be the 124 level. As I break down the time frame, you can see here last week on Thursday, price come up to that 124 mark, hit it, and then started to make its move to the downside. As I come down the time frames, here's the scenario I'm looking at. I just want to see price get back up to there, interact with this blue candle, preferably at the top point around that 124 mark, and then start to show me the signs of struggle, start to show me that you're entering a new contract, and hopefully we can see price start to push to the downside. Target wise, I'd like to see it come towards the 121 point. So that's a nice 300 pip move. Keep an eye on that one. It's going to be the pound Swiss franc. Coming in at number 5 is going to be the USD Swiss franc. Now, again, for those of you who follow me, we've had some great moves from this recently, from this 93, around the 93,500 mark. Lots of pushes to the downside, around to aiming, hitting the 91 points. So again, a nice 200, 250 pip range. Now, what I mentioned last week was I wanted to see price just dip into this area where the pound signs are. Again, explaining that there's lots of liquidity here, lots of traders that have got stop losses, all types of things that is creating liquidity, creating volatility in the market. Now, as I come down the time frames, very similar to what we just looked at on the pound Swiss franc, it's going to be the 94. Give it a bit of space to breathe. 94 to the 94, 400 level. I just want to see price get back up here, interact with this black candle here, the one that's grabbed the most liquidity, and let me see you struggle. Let me start to see the push. Let me start to see the bearish involvement, and I'll be happy to take a position. Again, this is going to be documented in my Discord. So if you haven't got access to that, send me an email right now to capitalatrading@hotmail.com, and you could literally just put Discord access. I will send you the link back as soon as I possibly can. That's going to be the USD Swiss franc. Keep an eye on that 94 level to the 94, 400. Next up is going to be the EURJPY. Now, again, it's in a very important selling area. As you can see, there's like a bearish trend sort of forming. And now I'm just going to monitor this area around here, around the 132, 500. As I just come down the time frames, this will be the area that I'm looking to see interacted with. I want to see this candle stuck. I don't want to see price going anywhere near higher than that. So around the 132 to the 132, 500, give it a bit of space to breathe. This is where I want to see price start to struggle throughout the week. Show me that there's a contract being entered here. And then hopefully by Thursday, Friday, we can start to see the push to the downside. Target wise, on this daily picture, I'm looking to see price at least get back towards this 128 level. So again, this is the scenario I'm looking at here on the 4 hour. Give it a bit of space to breathe. Again, the 132, 500 to the 132 mark. I believe at some point during the week, we're going to start to see the yen gain strength and make its move to the downside. Keep an eye on that one. That's going to be the euro yen. We're going to go through my top three now. These are going to be the main focuses for the week. These are going to be updated in the Discord regularly. So again, just keep note of these ones, especially. I'm watching the AUDUSD. I like the 75 level. At the moment, we're just above the 74. As I break down the time frame, this is the gap here on the daily, ever so slightly, and it's just below that 75 mark. So again, let's call it the 74, 750 to the 75. This is where I want to see price come to, create the contract and start to make its move down. Now, last week, it threatened to just below around the 74, 500. It's made its move to the downside. And then for the remaining 4 days of the week, made its move back up. Now, what I believe is that the liquidity here will be wiped, which will be enough to then gain the energy for this area to start making its move to the downside. It will wipe out a lot of sellers, a lot of retail traders in this position, and then it can use that liquidity to start making a volatile move to the downside. Target-wise, again, I'd like to see it back towards that 70,000 level. So keep an eye on that one. That's going to be the AUDUSD again. Be aware that we've got AUD news. We've got a bit of US dollar news. I'll be looking to see how that impacts this chart. Number two, again, for those of you who follow me, it's the euro pound. I've been doing this for almost 2 years now. What I've been mentioning is this area. The bearish trend looks like it's about to continue. It's got back to its last point of call, and I believe it's now going to start to make its move. I've had this area marked out from last week, and all it's did was respect it. So now I feel the move's going to come this week. As I just step down onto the 4 hour time frame, I just want to see price get back towards the 84, 500, 84, 400, back towards this level. Show me that you're struggling. Show me that this area is holding weight. Of course, I'm looking to see some pound strength with all the news that they've got coming out this week. And then hopefully we can start to see that batter this euro and again make its way, hopefully target wise, towards the 82 mark. Not too much, not going to be greedy, but I believe there's a 200 pip move pending. That's going to be the euro pound. That's going to be number two. My main focus for the week is going to be this pound USD. Now, again, I mentioned this area last week. I wanted to see it hold up, and it has. Now, what I like about this one as I break it down and I come onto this daily time frame is, as you can see, it's come down and hit the key number, the 130 mark, hit it perfectly, and for the rest of the week, started to make its move to the upside. Now, I'm looking to see pound strength in a few of the pairs that I'm monitoring. So this is going to be the same. Now, as I just break it down slightly, I just want to see price get back towards that 130, 130, 500 level, give it a bit of space to breathe. And then I'm looking to see a buy push, hopefully long term, all the way back up towards the 135 mark. So it's a massive 500 pip move, but be patient. This will take longer than a month to get there. So keep an eye on the 130 mark. Hopefully it's sitting there around the news release, and then hopefully we can start to see that pound strength. That was my main focus. Now, again, this is going to be updated in the Discord. If you haven't got access, send an email right now. That's capitalatrading@hotmail.com.
Okay, guys, thanks for watching. Again, that was the Forex Weekly. Keep an eye on a couple of the opportunities that I've mentioned. Monitor 2 or 3 of them throughout the week. And again, let's see how they progress. If you haven't, gain access to my Discord channel now, where I update my chart analysis throughout the week. You can send me an email to capitalatrading@hotmail.com. And again, if you want to learn more, if you want to take your skills further in trading, check out my website, www.capitalatrading.co.uk. Thanks for watching. Have a great trading week.